And you were born in Bridgewater?
Born in Bridgewater.
Lived here
My
for...
home place was the corner of Empire and Hillcrest, just above the arena.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived there till I was married. I was married in 1956.
Mm-hmm.
Still married to the same one.
Okay, you remember the Bridgewater Band for many years. How long were you in the Bridgewater Band?
I've been
Fireman Span.
Fireman Span since 1952, when the firemen took it over pretty well.
Okay, that's when the band started in '52 as a fireman's band.
As a fireman's band, yes.
Okay.
The firemen, Bridgewater Fire Department took the band over.
Mm-hmm.
They bought a brand new set of Imperial instruments, and then they had a bunch of firemen from. Some of the firemen was into it, and then they had some of the members from the band of the town band.
Mm-hmm.
They came and played as well.
Okay. And you said the fireman's band took over the band. Was that the town band that they took over?
The town band, yes. Yeah.
Why? Do you know why they did that? Or?
I don't know for sure if it was a matter of financial or not, but anyway, they took them over, and the fire department supported them.
Okay, and they bought the instruments and uniforms?
Bought the instruments, supplied with the uniforms,
Mm-hmm.
complete, so.
Now, where did you used to practice?
Well, we did some practicing down at, there was a hall across the street from Gow's Home Hardware, not Home Hardware, the furniture store.
Furniture, yeah.
Up on the second floor. We practiced there a bit. And then when the arena was built, they put the piece on the arena while we went up there practicing the arena. Mm-hmm. I remember going in and no concrete floor, just all pipes and sand. And we used to practice. Yeah. Yes, and
How many people were in the band when the band started?
roughly 35 to 40.
Mm-hmm.
And we had different instructors. Fred Behringer was our first band director. And then after he went for a couple of years, then my dad took it over.
Okay.
So he also played instruments, but he was a director as well.
He was fire chief.
Yeah, he was fire chief. He was in the fire department for over 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Fire chief for 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you in the fire department when you joined the band, or?
No, I went in the fire department after. I went in about 1954.
So you didn't have to be in the fire department to belong to the band?
No.
How old were you? You must have been a young
I
fella.
was around 18.
18.
Yeah.
You still in school, or?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm still in school. Yeah.
Did the school have a band as well, or?
No.
No.
They didn't have bands in schools at that time.
Well, where did you learn? What instrument did you play?
I play slide trombone.
Uh-huh.
I've been playing that ever since.
Okay.
And but I had music. I had 5 years of piano here in town
Okay.
by a very rigid teacher. So anyway, she taught me a lot, and then I had to just go ahead. But when I started playing my music in treble clef, and then the music started coming all in bass clef, so I had to change and read bass clef. Still a line, but it was fun. And on the trombone, Warren Hislop was the bandmaster at that time. He gave me the trombone and a scale, plain B-flat scale. When you can play that, come back in. So next week I was in the band. And set in, and you learned as you went along.
Yeah. So, did you choose the trombone, or was that chosen for you?
Well, I tried trumpet first. I tried blowing trumpet, but my lip didn't seem to work well with trumpet, so then I played trombone, so. And I was more fitted for that.
Okay. Now what about some of your experiences with the band? You must have had some.
Yes, some of the ones, I remember we played in Lockport one time, and there was a fellow lived down in Petite. He played in the band with us. And we were marching along, and of course there was potholes in the road, and he stepped in one and rolled over on the floor. We thought he had a heart attack. We had to stop and wait for him. And another one, I guess, we were playing up at the Catholic cemetery. And we were down, at that time we were downtown up in the upstairs, and this fellow came, he was a trumpet player. And he had too much alcohol. Dad wouldn't let him go. So anyway, he sent him home. And when we got up going by the cenotaph, there he was passed out in the ditch. So,
You didn't make it home.
no. But there was other things, like in those days, there was no places for the guys to go to drink. They took their own. And we were out playing for a garden party, and we went down, I think it was the Baptist church, on Sunday morning to play as well. And the guy was playing, his tuba wasn't playing very well, he had the big tuba. Anyway, he turned it upside down, set it down on the floor when he was finished playing. Full bottle of beer fell out on the floor. Yeah, there was lots of those sort of things happen.
So you didn't only just play in Bridgewater, you played around different events?
Oh yeah, we played, well, we used to go up, we went up once to Argyle, and we played a very long parade up there. I think it was 2 or 3 miles we paraded. And then we went, we used to do the Halifax Natal Day Parade. We did one parade for the Apple Blossom Festival. Then we played for all the garden parties and Lunenburg Exhibition Parade at that time, Fisheries Exhibition, Bridgewater Exhibition. Only the Bridgewater one we didn't start at the community college, we started at the schools, down on the school, on Queen Street.
A little shorter route.
A shorter route, yeah.
But you still have the hill.
But we still had that terrible hill.
How did you manage coming up that hill? You didn't play your instrument coming up the hill?
No. Sometimes we'd be coming into the hill and we'd have to finish the piece. But, yeah.
But your brother Glenn, who played the snare drum,
And
had to beat all the way up the hill.
Yep, he had to beat steady, yeah.
Must have been some fun back and forth between you two with being in the band together, was there?
No, he never played in them. I played in dance orchestras and with Dr. Prince. Before he had an orchestra, I played in dance band my dad had set up. We used to play at the yacht club and those things. And they were members, most guys in the band was members of the band, Fireman Span. And then Dr. Prince we had a Dixie band and we had a German band. Plus our big band that we used to go out and play to dances on like New Year's and special occasions, so 18-piece one. So it was a lot of fun and a lot of going.
So you played music quite often then?
Yeah.
How many days of the year would you
Well,
be out?
my first 20 years of marriage, I wasn't home for New Year's at all. My wife and we laid off for a while, but sometimes we play 2 times a week, maybe, and we might miss part, then we go and maybe for 1, whatever the occasion. I remember down here at the museum when Trudeau came down, the German band played out here in the back. He came up and talked to us, and you really get around different places and meet different people. And then they had, back in when I first was in the band, there was a Bridgewater Band, there was a New Germany Band, there was a Liverpool Band, and there was Lunenburg Band, and then some of the players from Mahone Bay used to come and play in the group. And then we had a mass band, remember we had a mass band concert in Lunenburg. And I have a photo home of the whole band.
When would have that been?
That would have been in the 50s.
Mhm.
Now what time in the 50s, I really couldn't say.
Was there a special occasion for it, or just?
No, we just got together and decided all bands go together, and we practiced and put on a concert.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what kind of practicing would you have to do? Everybody would come together for several times before?
Well, we'd all know the music we were going to play, and they'd practice it. We practice it in our own bands, and then we get together and put it all together. It was quite a sound when you had, I think it was what, 100 to 150 people.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
And where in Lunenburg?
In the arena, I think we played. One of the places there, it was a big place, and we set up on the ice surface, and then the people could sit in the seats, so. Yeah.
That must have been pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had different ones. No, it's, and I used to use the band, I was in the printing. When I go home in the evening, take my instrument, go to band practice, or to an engagement, come home, and I couldn't go to bed for at least an hour. I just felt rejuvenated, just sort of rejuvenated me. So I used it like a tonic.
Mm-hmm. Now you're going away to play in that, the band. Any problems with your people you worked for to get the time to go, or?
I didn't, but some people did.
Did they?
Some people, they didn't like to let them go to play, but Dad used to, when Dad was bandmaster, he'd go and get after the people and see that they couldn't let the town band go.
A little different than a fireman going to a fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were effectively the town band then as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were the town band.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to play for the Odd Fellows Lodge and the different fire departments around, like Pleasantville Fire Department. They had used to go down there for their garden party, Petite Riviere. We used to go to two in Mahone Bay. One was a fireman's, and I think the other was a lodge over there.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever people wanted us, you know. A lot of parades in those days.
Now, would all these people that invite you, would they pay something to the band?
Oh, yeah, yeah. They pay. They have a price and pay.
Okay. And that's how you finance the band?
That along with the fire department sponsoring us. They bought the music and kept us in uniforms and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. So what was your uniform like when you first started?
It was a fireman's uniform, just like the firemen have. It was a double-breasted wool uniform, pants, silver stripe. Then of course we had our music lyre on the arm, and then we had our years of service. Well, mine was a fireman's uniform, so I had my 5-year bars on my uniform or whatever. And the bandmaster, he wore a uniform with his gold braid and stuff. So, but they were quite warm.
I was going to say, because most of your playing would be in the summer.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah. When you took your coat off, you was wet
Mm-hmm.
from the heat. No, it was a hot uniform, and then we went from there to a red tunic and dark pants with a red stripe. We had that for years.
Why did you change from the fireman's uniform to that?
To get a lighter uniform
Okay.
and not as hot, because the blazer was very light.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a summer one. Later on we had a summer uniform, which was a red t-shirt with the fireman's emblem on, and a hat. That was our summer for marching.
Mm-hmm.
But anything special, we always put our full uniforms on.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then from there we went here a few years ago to the present one. which is like the fireman's uniform, only a much lighter material and single-breasted. And we wear that. Then we have our shoulder flashes on it, and then we have a shirt with our shoulder flashes slide-on ones, and we have our emblem on our sleeve, and my years of service in the band. For every 5 years, you get a bar.
You're still in the band?
Yep, got over 60 years now.
Is that right?
Yep.
Do you still march?
No. No, when it came that my breath wasn't enough to run both the instruments, I figured the breath for me was better than the instrument, so I had to give up. It was a hard thing to do.
I imagine.
Because I had all those years and enjoyed it.
But you're still in the band and still.
Oh yeah.
You still play on concerts and everything.
Play concerts, yeah. But I can't read music as fast as I used to, and that type of thing. And of course, you have to have brighter lights to see the music, even with glasses. So that's what age does to you. But it's, I still try to keep at it. But I have great fellows to play with. I have a young fellow that sits inside of me now. He's from Kelowna. And he started in the band in school in grade 6. Plays trombone. Excellent player. And he's played right up through the school, and he's here taking community college, a certain type of course here. And then we have another fellow that he played with the Guards Band in Ottawa. He's playing with us. He lives down Hawkins Island. So, and then I have Jerry Holmes and I. He has 40 years in the band, and so it's interesting.
Yes. Yeah. So you have people from all over and all different backgrounds and musical backgrounds and that
Oh yeah.
come into the band. And
we have a lot of people now that's trained in music. And we have one fellow in the band that plays euphonium. He's a professor. And then our band director, he's doctorate.
Is that right?
He can write music. It's amazing how he can.
So you've seen quite an evolution of the band over the years.
Oh yes, yeah. And different directors.
How many directors have you seen?
I have a list of directors here. Sing here from 52. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
18 different directors.
18. And the first group up until 1975 was bandmasters. Now we still have a bandmaster that fills in too. But the directors, they were paid. A fellow by the name of Hank Comps was the first one. And he was from, I think he played in the Stadacona Band. And then John Bird, he still plays with us. He was director for a while. And then Wendell Eisner, our director right now, he was directing in 86. Then we had a Jim McCurdy and a Ken Foote, and a Robert Warren, Denise Burgoyne. Then Wendell's, when he was going to university, he was director again. And Gail Lonis and Robert Warren, and then Wendell Eisner. He started in 2004 again. He's been there, so.
He's been back 3 times with you.
Yeah. And John Bird, he's real good on his clarinet and that type of thing. He's, there's a lady in there, she's from Germany, she plays bari sax, but she can play clarinet and she can play clarinet and flute too as well, but she's an excellent player. And then we have Wendell's son on the drums, along with another chap there, John. He plays drums as well. And They both good. We had as high as, what, 4 or 5 drummers at one time.
Now, you had said earlier that you started playing a trumpet with the Sea Cadet.
I know, a bugle.
Bugle.
Bugle, yes,
With the Sea Cadet Band.
yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we used to go and, actually I joined the Sea Cadets just to be in the band. So the band director there, they had a band director, and we go in the back of the Sea Cadet Hall and we practice.
And that was, the Sea Cadet Hall was where?
The drill shed, which is burned down now over by the,
On Dominion Street.
no, on Dufferin.
Dufferin Street.
Yeah. We go there and practice, and then at the end of the time to close down, why we go out and do the final ceremony around playing the band. Then we play in the street parades and those kind of things, so.
You go around to different towns and
Yeah, we do like the Lunenburg exhibition parade, Bridgewater exhibition, and mostly parades.
Mhm.
And wherever. I think we played in Caledonia one time, and Liverpool.
yeah, so that, now was that before you played the piano or
No, that would be after.
after you played the piano?
Yeah, after I go. Yeah.
So the piano was the real introduction to music for you?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Now, your dad was director of the Fireman Span. Did he used to play in the town band?
He did, yeah. Yeah, he was a saxophone player.
He was one of the carryovers from the town band then.
Well, I don't know if he was playing in the town band at that time,
Okay.
but when the fire department took it over, then he got one of the new instruments and he started again, so.
But he had previous experience with the town band.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
But do you remember the town band? Do you remember much about that? You were probably a little tyke that used to run after it?
No, I remember them, you know, when they were out doing things. They had their uniform was a tunic that was right up tight to the neck, and they had dark pants with a stripe on them. And you'd hear them in the exhibition parades and that type of thing, but no, I didn't pay too much attention to them in those years until Fireman got it, and then when I got involved, well then that changed it.
Mm-hmm. Now, did they used to have a bandstand in town? Where?
Yes, they had a bandstand. Well, they had, up through the years, they had bandstands. I wasn't sure where they were, but we had a portable one that we had set up over on the old bridge on the right-hand side, just as you went off the bridge. There used to be a grounds in there. There used to be Hollingsworth and Whitney building there, and they left us put our stand in there. Then in the winter we take it down, put it away, some benches. We play there often.
Would you play like a weekly concert in the summer, or
In the summer, yeah, we used to play weekly concerts.
is that right?
And then one thing I remember, and I read this, I didn't see it because it was older than me, but they used to have a steamer go down the river and take people out.
Mm-hmm.
They take them out around the islands and bring them back, and the band used to go out on there and play the music for them.
Is that right? That would have been the town band.
That's the town band, yeah.
Town band.
Yeah.
Now, what kinds of music did you used to play? Now, you play different music, marching music, than you would concert music?
We have a mixture. We play marches, overtures, waltzes, all those things.
Did you have vocalists with the?
Not at that
Concert
time,
band.
but we've had them in recent years. Since Wendell took over, we've had vocalists.
Okay.
Yeah, some very good vocalists too.
In your early days, you didn't have a vocalist with
No.
your.
We did have majorettes
Did you?
back in the 50s,
Mhm.
high school kids, and they were dressed up. They had their majorette, and they used to twirl. And
Were they sponsored by the fire department as well?
oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
You were part of your band
they
organization.
was part of the band organization. Yeah. Yes, it's.
So did you have to do fundraising for the band, or the firemen would do all the fun?
Well, we raised funds, and we had a fund we put it in. And then after a while, we'd buy some extra music, and now we're buying most of the music, and we get a town grant. And then if we need anything, the firemen help us. So we're pretty well self-supporting now,
Okay.
other than, like I say, the town gives us a grant. And then the other bandstand we built down on the shipyard landing just in the late, it was around 2009
Mhm.
it was built. That's a great place to have a concert.
How many concerts do you have there in the summer? Regular? Or?
Well, we usually have it on Wednesday nights through the summer. Probably miss 1 or 2 nights, but then we run into September. Yeah.
Must be beautiful down there with a nice, warm, sunny night
Oh, yeah, it is.
in the summer and hear the music going over the river.
As long as you don't get too much wind.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
don't get a lot of wind up the river, but they have blinds made, tarps they put up, but they're supposed to have blinds to pull down. That'll eventually come, hopefully.
Now, the band went to England on an exchange visit
Yes.
recently. And were you part of that visit?
No, I couldn't go.
You couldn't go.
No. I couldn't march, so it was no good to go,
Okay.
you see.
Okay.
But, and then I have medication that I take, and,
And when they came here, though, they played concerts?
oh yeah,
Yeah, you played then.
oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a concert. We had a march. I did march from the fire hall down to Dr. Prince's property. He was ill at the time, and we went down there and played for him. And then day before he passed away, the band went down one evening and played music for him. And
Now, he was a big contributor to the band.
oh, he was a big, yeah. He'd supply music for us at times, and special music, and then he would take and he did a lot of the repairs for the school bands all around. He had a place down his basement. He'd take them down, and
He did the repairs.
he did a lot of repairs for them. Yeah, and he had a lot of instruments.
Now, you had mentioned about playing in his jazz band,
Yeah, it was sort of a
or Dixieland band.
Dixieland. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. I think I
Well-
remember seeing you on several
Yeah,
occasions.
we used to get do that. I think one of the last times I played into it was Milton. Oh no, Mill Village. Mill Village. There when they had the summer thing at the fire hall. What can I say about it? It's
How did that come about?
well, Dr. Prince wanted a Dixie band. He came and asked me and play in it. And we had trombone, trumpet, saxophone, which he played, clarinet. Did I say trumpet?
Yeah.
Yeah. And drums, guitar, and piano. And we go out and play. We played at the exhibition a couple of times. Different places.
So it was the sorts of events you'd play at with that.
Yeah. You never know. And then in October, then we had the German band for Oompa music.
You would just do that in October?
We played through the year sometimes,
Okay.
depending.
Was that the same people as Dixieland?
Yeah,
Okay,
same
you just
bunch.
sort of changed your hats.
Just change your hats,
Yeah.
yes.
That must have been fun though, was it?
Yeah.
Get some good memories of that.
Oh yeah, one time I'll never forget it. We were put in we were the first band in the exhibition parade. And then I think it was the Dixieland or the German band played. I think it was the German band. And we had to come down, we went up the exhibition, had a car waiting for us, bring us down. We got on a float and started up the hill again. And there was a fellow waiting there that played a clarinet as well. And we got going up the hill, and he went to play his instrument. No mouthpiece. So he just sat there, fainted the whole way up the hill. Yeah. All kinds
So-
of crazy little things happen.
So you were the Fireman Span going up the hill first,
Yes,
then you got in the car and you came around
came around.
and got on the float with the Dixieland band.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah. We had a little vest we used to put on. Dr. Prince had a vest made for us, black with little red piping around it.
Yeah, must have been funny.
Yeah. That's where Donnie Gow, he played trumpet. And we were going up the hill at the same time, and I don't know, it was a truck or a wagon we were on, but one or the other. And he was sitting right on the back. And when the truck took off, his chair went right back, up like that. And he was like that, but he caught himself enough that he didn't fall. You know, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And the members of that would be, they'd all been in the Fireman's Band, pretty well?
Pretty well.
Except for the clarinet player.
Yeah, he wasn't in. And of course, the guitar player, he used to be in, but he wasn't in at that time. And one of the trumpet players, he wasn't in. So
Now, would you played as one or two numbers as part of the Fireman's Band? One or two Dixieland numbers? As,
well,
or
there was one time that we used to have different groups. They had violins, and this was back further than that. But I can't remember if we played with the band or not. Can't remember. Mostly it was separate.
Mhm.
And then the big one, we had a big band, 18-piece dance band, so
Mhm.
we used to play up at White Point on New Year's Eve. That type, so.
And that was Dr. Prince as well,
Yep.
director.
Yeah, he was a great fella. He even had staging. He used to have a trailer they hooked on the back of his station wagon, and he'd take the staging up and set it up and be all ready for us when we got there. We'd break it down, load it up for him, and take it back and help put it in. No, he was A1, and he was a man that he was always the same. Didn't matter, nothing seemed to bother him. But he was great.
So you played in bands for all these years, in different bands. Any particular favorite songs that you have, or music that you have?
Not really, I like it all.
Uh-huh.
You know, but some of the newer pieces are kind of way out there, but they're not bad. You learn to play them. But there's a lot more, there's harder pieces, you know, much harder. And, but you just practice them and pick them apart, do them, and finally they come together.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's a big difference in the band now. You can pick a piece up, set it up and sight read, and the band can play it real well.
Mhm.
One time you couldn't do that, so.
If you had an iPod to put band music on, what's the five pieces that you, if you can only take 5 pieces, what 5 pieces would you like to?
Oh my goodness. Bandology, which is a march. Can't remember some of the pieces.
That's putting you on the spot.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
there's a
serious.
couple of overtures that I like. Some of the overtures we used to play in the first of the band we don't play now. There were some beautiful ones we had.
Mhm.
There was a time we were down at Pleasantville. We were playing. Dad was bandmaster at the time. And there was an overture we played. And in the middle of it, there was a clarinet condenser. And we played it up for the clarinet condenser. The clarinets didn't come in. So Dad just went like that, stopped it. Nobody knew the difference other than the bands. we often laugh about that one. Yeah.
Do you ever write any music?
No.
No. Or
I read music. A couple of pieces I can do from memory, but no. I never got into that.
Yeah. And on top of all this band playing and that, you had a day job as well.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple of day jobs. You
Well,
worked at the newspaper.
I worked at the newspaper, and then when I was working at the newspaper, I built a house. Built one house back in Hebville, and I did that nights and worked by day.
And what did you do with the newspaper?
Well, I went in and they gave me a hand-fed press with a pedal on it, lead type. And I print business cards or that type to start with. Then they finally put the belt on, gave me the power, and I worked that for a while. And then I went and got the automatic press up front. And I ran that quite a long while. Then when we bought the Davidson in 1967 from Cecil Day, Liverpool Advance, I took that and down in the basement they put me. So I worked that. Then they bought a new Heidelberg letterpress. So I used to, remember we used to do the fishing licenses. And I print the one side on the offset, do the numbering, perforating on the letterpress.
On the letterpress, yeah.
And kept both of them running, that. Then the boss sent me to Toronto. He said, you're going up and buy a bigger offset. So I went up and bought Montreal it was, not Toronto. Met the traveler there, the guy that used to come down, and picked out the machine. They told me what class it was in, and picked a medium-sized one and brought that back and
And when you
worked that for years. And I used to have like a printing business in the basement down in the bulletin, and nobody bothered me. And I was the only one that did offset then.
were you?
Yeah. Well, then when they shifted to offset, they took me out in the front. Boss took me in. He says, "We're going to put somebody else in your offset section. You'll have to teach him, but you're going to be foreman of the shop," because I knew the rigmarole. So anyway, we did that. But when I was in, they wanted me to learn everything. When the line type operators were away, I filled in on liner type and different kinds.
So you started with the old pedal press.
Yep.
And you'd set your own type.
Set it up.
Yeah. And would you have with the printing like that? You'd have all the type would all be there. You just have to set it. The line of type you had to type the keys in.
Type it in, yeah.
And
then we had a Ludlow at that time, and that set the larger type. And a fellow named Alf Langille, he used to run the Ludlow, and he used to do up rule forms. Of course, they all locked together then. They had locks on them, and put them on and print them.
Did you have to set type for the paper, or you just did the printing?
No, I used to set type the first part of the week. Then when Wednesday came,
And you do the printing.
I'd move over and do the printing. Yeah.
You read the paper backwards.
Oh yeah. Turn it upside down, hold it in the mirror, and I could read it faster that way than I could the other way. Because we had to put corrections in. There'd be a mistake in a line, you had to check the line that you got the correction and put it back in.
And that would go on the press, the pages would go on the press. And you
Yes.
have a pressman that would run the press.
Yes.
Now when you did the printing on your hand press, you'd have to put the ink on.
Well,
You roll the ink on the.
no, there was a round disc on top.
Okay.
And then it had a fountain on top. You could put that on, and
Okay.
that would turn and put the ink on the rollers.
Okay. So you didn't have to put the ink on the roller by yourself.
No,
No.
no.
When I was
You just had to keep the fountain filled.
when I was working at the newspaper, the old hand press, they had the little putty knife and the can of ink, and they'd have to spread the ink across the
Yeah,
top of the.
yeah. We
of the
you
roller.
do that on the. We used to put it on the round part, and it would roll up like if you was doing something color. You only had a few to do.
Yeah. So it was quite a difference when it came to the offset, though.
Oh, yeah.
Now, did you used to make the plates and that for the offset?
I did, I ruled the forms with pens, pasted on little pieces of paper. Then I would photograph them on a big camera, develop it in the darkroom, then strip it out, burn the plates, put them on the press and print them. And in those days we used to send any color separations from doing brochures. We send them into the engravers in Halifax and they do them up for us and send them back.
And you print them. Quite a difference, though. A lot easier.
Yeah. Well, I did on that little offset press that they had up in Liverpool. I did Des Brisset's History of Lunenburg County, which they sold here for years. I did 2,000 copies of that. Printed it on that little press, 2 sides.
Yeah.
And that press would print 2 sides at once, but you had to burn the plate backwards. And then put the plate on where the impression cylinder was, and when it went through.
So you'd do 2 sides of the page, but then you'd have to, and you did 2,000 copies, so you'd have to do 2,000 copies, then you'd have to collate it all by hand.
Yeah, they took it up and folded it
Yeah.
on the folder,
Yeah.
and then they insert them, put them all together. And then I think they sent them up to Liverpool and had them stitched at the bindery.
yeah.
K&W, yeah. Book binders, yeah.
And the bound up there.
Yeah,
That was quite a job.
yeah.
Nobody knows what was involved in even putting out the newspaper in those days.
Yeah.
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 Now they're all offset.
That's right. All
Nothing
offset.
to them. Used to have to remember crawling in under the press to get the old paper out when the paper broke. And
Oh yeah, I was only there, I started working in March, and in July, the pressman went on vacation, and the boss told me, "You're the pressman." So I had to run newspaper press that year. Well, the first run went off beautiful, great. Second was another story, a lot of breaks, because we had to shift size.
And then even the newspapers then were in 2 or 3 different sections,
Yeah.
and you'd have to collate all the sections
Collate all the
together.
sections, yep. And then we used to put ink in the fountains in a coal scuttle. We used to dump it from the 5-gallon can in coal scuttle and put it into the fountains. That was a messy job, my. It was messy on the press anyway.
That's for sure.
And the pressman, he lost his leg in the Second World War, and he had he had a stump up here. And he used to be able to put his foot on the driver bar when the press was running, and it would lift him up, and he'd step off to get to the top to do adjustments. No, it was a real learning, but as you went along, in came computers and all kinds of things.
Then you went into your own business.
Yeah, 1971. We started our own business up in the home place on the corner of Empire and Hill Press. And we bought a cylinder press from Liverpool. It was still on the skid. It's a rebuilt one. Bought that. Bought some other things and went up and bought Truro Daily News. They went offset, and they had all kinds of type and stones that you lay the forms on. They had all kinds of that stuff up there. We went up with a truck, and I think Dad paid what, $250 for the Ludlow, and 2 cabinets of type, and all the sticks that you set the stuff in. And then and then they said, give us $50 and help yourself to whatever you want. We brought home cases of handset type, and we had 6-inch wood type, and all kinds of that stuff, you know. We had a whole set of calendar type, do calendars, and engravings, that type of thing, So we brought that back and set up down in the basement of his house. We had a camera, put in a camera. So Dad was office, I was production, and my mother, she was the bindery.
Okay.
That's how we worked it first.
Yeah.
Then we built up, we had as high as, I think it was 18 or 20 people working for us when we moved up on Logan Road.
Mhm.
And when I worked when I was 70 years old, I had over 51 years in, so.
Is that right, printing business, yeah? Yeah.
But I liked it, I never begrudge today that I went up.
Yeah.
But then things started to fall apart, everything changed. We used to do like all the lawyers' letters, letterheads,
Yeah.
in black ink on a real nice paper.
Mhm.
And we did it for all over the county.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we didn't get that, because they had copiers that
Mhm.
they just put it through printers and put everything on it when they printed their document.
Yep.
So
Really
that
made a
was-
change, didn't it?
That was a change, and,
Printing.
oh yeah, everything. And then full color came in,
Yeah.
and if you didn't have big bucks to get in that,
Yeah.
it was lost. Well, we put in a copy system. It was, used to do, I forget how many copies a minute in full color. Would do double-sided, but that was very expensive.
Yeah.
I figured at one time that we were paying for the one out front. It was costing us money to have that machine sitting there.
Yeah, no, it's too bad, but
Yeah.
quite a change, but you've seen that whole change.
I've
right,
seen
from
all the changes, yeah.
Setting the old type by hand to do the foot press
Oh, yeah.
and right up to
Yeah,
computers putting you out of business, basically.
yeah. They sort of put us back.
Yeah.
Then I just, when I left, I didn't get anything for my shares at all, so I just got out and I got clear of my things I had promised to the bank, my name, so the other guy took that on, so.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I think we probably covered everything.
Yeah,
I had in mind to talk to you about.
I should have told you that.
Anything else you want to?
I should have
Tell me
told you
anything
that the band dates back to 1868.
This is the town band.
That's the town band started 1868.
Uh-huh.
And it was sort of tied with the Army first.
That's an interesting connection.
Yeah, I have that.
Now they would have met at the Temperance Hall as well?
I don't know where they met, but back in those days. There they are.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, 1868.
1868. Was attached to the 68th Kings County Regiment.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Temperance Hall. And I've talked to a couple of other people that mentioned the Temperance Hall. The Sea Cadets had their meetings there, or met there. It was the Army Drill Hall, was it not?
Yeah, there was an Army drill hall, yeah.
Yeah.
That, they used to call it the drill shed,
Yeah.
drill hall.
But that was the same building.
No, that wasn't the building we practiced in. We had Sea Cadets in there.
Okay.
Here's where the Sea Cadets were. No, ours was up, like I say, on King Street, and that burned in the fire of 1959, 60,
Okay.
when we had that big fire
That
down.
was the Temperance Hall.
I guess that's what they called it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys didn't practice up here with the Sea Cadets?
No,
That used to be.
not the Fireman's Band, no, no.
Okay.
There's a list of the first directors, the band people.
Okay.
I didn't have the dates of the other ones, I couldn't find those.
Now, what's the difference between the bandmaster and the band directors?
Band director gets paid, the bandmaster, he's for free.
He's for free.
Yeah, that's
Did the same thing, basically.
basically, yeah.
Director the
But
band.
the other guys are more professional people that, well, they're graduates in
Yeah.
music and that type of thing.
Now, did you have a junior band or a student band or?
No,
No.
but we pull from the schools.
Okay. So how old would you have to be to go into the? Is there
Well,
an age limit or?
When you can play an instrument reasonable,
Mhm. Okay.
they usually give them a playing test.
Okay.
It's not too hard, but to see how they come along.
Mhm.
But we have real good band there now.
How many did you have in the band now?
I think we got around 30, between 35 and 40.
Mhm. Is that pretty steady?
Well, they vary,
Uh-huh.
but yes, it's fairly steady. Yeah.
And do most of them all Bridgewater people, or do they have people that travel to play in the band now?
Well, we have one. Some of them travel from outside of town.
Uh-huh.
When I lived outside of town here, I traveled in. I used to Nineveh. I used to travel what? Pretty 25 minutes to get down to band practice.
Mhm.
25 minutes home.
Yeah.
But,
No regrets?
No. No. No, the only regrets, I wished I'd have got deeper into the music when I was younger. You know, but no, I can't say I got any regrets.